networks pulled together, because you can really build a great community around them, and you can really leverage social tools. So, here at Blog World, we've seen over the years like mommy bloggers really coming together, digital dads, so to speak, food bloggers, people with it, military bloggers. And so, but this is the first that I've heard in your niche. So 2 years.
Yeah, it's really been exciting to see the growth. And one of the things we did was with this niche group of shows, by putting them together, we can go to an advertiser, we can go to a company that we're working with, or to a conference we wish to attend, say, hey, we're reaching 500,000 medical professionals every single month with our programming, and we'd like to feature your conference or your program or your product. And we're selective, but we really are working with some pretty high quality partners right now.
I bet it helps with advertising too when you're so focused in on one industry vertical.
It really makes a difference. And I was talking to Jim Lauterbach at the last Blog World, and
Revision 3.
Revision 3, and he was saying he was jealous of our ability to really drill down on the what we can get in advertising rates compared to more general shows or the tech space. So we're seeing that. We're really seeing the audience, but it's taking time.
Wait, you're making money with your network?
I've been a full-time podcaster for going on 3 years now. Started doing it with my own programs, and we do it in a lot of different ways. We go to conferences, we have advertising on the network. We also are what I'm here speaking about this week is talking about over-the-top television, the Roku box, the Samsung
Boxy Box, Google TV, Apple TV.
Yep, Apple TV, and we're really seeing a whole new audience for our programming on those devices, and that's been the most exciting thing for me. When I saw in the first month of having our Roku channel active, we saw a 10% spike in viewership, and there was not a similar loss in viewership elsewhere in our feed.
So these were completely new viewers.
These were new audience members, and it was, being around for a long time, 6 years producing shows here, it was like the early days of podcasting.
Yeah.
These were like dynamically excited, like, where have you been all my life kind of viewers who were sitting in their living rooms. And the nice thing is it's now okay to produce long form content on the web, because you can have that content in the living room setting where people are more comfortable. It's not that we have to keep it less than 4 minutes because of the Google thing. And
that's actually a really good point. I never thought about it that way, because a lot of people we've talked to, again with Tech Zulu, we do a lot of long form content, and people say, well, does it work? Do people stay on? Yeah, they do. The time on site's ridiculous. But, I never thought about it from the sense of, well, now that you've got these multiple screens and the web content can be viewed on your television, people can be more comfortable. That actually makes a lot of sense.
And you can reach a broader audience from one device. Television watching, whether it's in a break room in a hospital or in your living room, is a community event. Watching web video is an individual event. You might have somebody come see this and look over your shoulder, but it really isn't somewhere where you just pull up a chair and sit down. It's different in that setting. And so we're really excited. I mean, we've been doing this, had our channel out there on Roku and looking at other spaces now for 6 months, and 10% of our viewership on our video programming is over that single device. If you add in the Apple TV, we're looking at maybe 20 to 25% of our viewership is over those set-top devices, and it's only going to increase.
So did you approach Roku about having a specific channel?
Actually, I work through my partners. The network is put together in partnership with Raw Voice, which does Blueberry, tech podcasts. They really have tried to focus on vertical networks in niche podcasting, and I've known those guys for a long time, so when I got the idea for the network, I said, hey, I need some back-end support. I can be the content organizer, and it's like herding cats, getting podcasters to all do the same thing, but it's really been exciting to see how they've helped us expand. And one of the things I really like about their philosophy about this is any glass, anywhere, which I think really talks about how the content is changing how we view things. It's not just about watching your shows in one place. You can get your stuff any place, anywhere, over your small device, over your big device, in your living room, in your car, wherever you need to get it.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that came out of CES actually this year was this notion of apps everywhere, and like apps in your car where you can just click a button and listen to your favorite podcasts. There are lots of things like that now.
Yeah, and I call them apps, I guess, because they're my, from my standpoint, it's code. but really they're channels.
Yeah.
And I think that this is the exciting thing about it. When you start, when I get chills when I look on a device and I see ProMed Network's channel next to Netflix, Amazon, ESPN.
Exactly.
And it's very exciting to see that kind of thing.
So do you think at some point the word online will just disappear? Because even though it originated online, it's kind of becoming irrelevant. It's sort of becoming that anywhere mentality.
Well, I think, and you can look back at I'm a history guy, so I look back at the history of media,
right.
And you see how television has grown and changed. It went from having 3 channels to 6 or 7 channels to cables bringing in 20 or 30 channels to
24-hour programming.
24-hour programming, and it all continued to change. We don't say we have cable. It's our TV.
Exactly.
We used to say, well, I have cable or I have broadcast or I have an antenna. We don't. It's just TV. Yeah. And I think the same thing's going to happen here. You look at devices like the Samsung TV device, LG's doing it. Sony. They're all looking at just integrating this. 5 years from now, it'll be just another plug in the back of your TV. It'll be, you'll have the Wi-Fi selection. So which input are you going to select? Mm-hmm. Is it your HDMI, your Wi-Fi, whatever? It's just going to be another channel.
Yeah, and to that same point, I look at traditional broadcast, traditional television, and how that was changed by stuff like reality TV, and the production costs for that were so minimal that you saw this explosion of reality TV. And now, podcasting has really matured to the point where anyone can create pretty decent content that people are watching, and that's going to change things yet again.
For just a few $1,000s, I built a high definition studio in my basement. Okay, and I mean a real high definition studio.
Yeah, what cameras do you use?
I use an EX1, okay. And I also have an old Canon HV40, which, for those of you that are on a budget, you can get that for $700-800. Yeah. It runs on tape, which is cheap medium, yeah. And I used that for the first year. So there's lots of different ways you can do this. But just for a few $1,000s, you can start your own. And so we are competing with the networks that are still, even with reality TV, spending millions of dollars per episode. And, for me, my per episode cost is less than $100.
Less than $100 per episode.
Yeah, so for me, when you're looking at independent content producers like myself, what we have to meet in expenses every month in the way of, if we're doing it out of our home, we're talking about a mortgage, whatever salary we want to make for ourselves, that's our overhead. Yeah. And so
not bad.
It's not much. It really isn't. It really works very well.
So how did you, when you first started the network, how did you go about figuring out the type of programming that you wanted to start with?
Well, I'm passionate about healthcare. I'm passionate about high quality information for patients and for healthcare professionals. I'm an educator. I work in nursing education. I also work in educating paramedics and EMTs. And so I'm very passionate about information getting out to them. So I really scrutinize the people on the network. When somebody applies to bring a show on the network, I really look at the programming. I look at the credentials of the host and the people producing it. I look at what their end goals are. We aren't selling snake oil on the network. I get a lot of people that are like, hey, we'd like you to put our
have ethics.
Yeah, well, hey, I have ethics. I did take an oath as a nurse. I gotta have something to say for that. But I think it is whatever your network. If you're thinking of starting a network, figure out what your niche is. Figure out what your level of comfort is with the different types of content. If you're okay being edgy, then be edgy. Right. I wanted to provide a trusted resource, so I had to set my standards in a different place.
Yeah, gotcha. Now, when people come to you wanting to do programs and they have their own host built in, how do you pay them? Do you work out deals with your advertisers?
We have an advertising split that is freely available. Everybody can check it out. You don't have to take any advertising. One of the things I wanted to make sure is some of our physicians are uncomfortable taking ads from pharmaceutical companies, for instance. So we bring an advertiser in. We say, here's the potential audience, but each show has the right to refuse at any given time any ad deal. They can choose not to run advertising if they want at all. We just ask they promote the network and some of the other programs in their place.
Really smart. And it's been going on for 2 years, you said?
It's going on 3 years now, actually. But yeah, when we started, it was 13 shows on the network, and now we've expanded it out to 45. I think we'll probably hit 55 or 60 by the end of this year.
That's crazy. 55 or 60 shows going on 3 years. The overhead is what you want to make as your salary. You can do it out of your basement with a home studio, HD. And last question, how the heck do you promote it?
Twitter, you can find, we would promote on Twitter, Facebook. Because each show is independently produced, one of the nice things about it is they bring their own audience with them. So we try to cross-promote between the programs. I encourage the individual producers to interview each other. Back when the bird flu came in, swine flu came in, H1N1, ooh, we're all scared. There was a lot of information out there that was bad. One of our programs on the network is This Week in Virology with Vince Racaniello. He's a doctor at Columbia University. He does viral research, and he does a show about it. So I basically said, get Vince on your show. Have him come on. I had him on both of my primary programs. Other people did as well. Yeah. And it's something at the time it was among one of my most successful episodes for the time frame, just because it was information, it was hot. So we really try to cross promote each other and get our audiences that way. But we're still not reaching the people we'd like, and as evidenced by the fact that we have these whole new audiences finding us on these set-top devices.
Wow. And maybe mobile at some point?
Definitely mobile. I mean, all our stuff's HTML5 compatible. We're running on a WordPress platform with the PowerPress plugin for podcasters. So it's a great plugin, and HTML5 support's built in. So your device is mobile ready coming out the gate.
Nice. Well, thank you so much. Super, super helpful for people that want to do video. I know a lot of people that are trying, and it's definitely a good place to start. So. Yeah. Jamie Davis and ProMed Network.
ProMedNetwork.com. And, you can knock my door down. You can find me on Twitter @PodMedic. So if you have a question, you want to know what camera I'm using, I'm open. I don't have any problem helping you get your show started.
Well, I think we will stay in touch as well, because we like other network folks and video folks. So make sure you leave your card over there and grab one of my red ones.
I will. Definitely. Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you, Jamie.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Wow, ProMed Network. Check it out, folks. I love the verticals. The verticals are really useful. I see my next victim off camera, and she's going to come on over. Here at Blog World, Amanda and her victims on the spot. Get over here.